sneaking up on people, but a team of people they're playing their best game against you. Everyone plays their best game against us now. That's happened right along, steady through the year. So I think all those things are real, and that's why why am I proud? That's why I'm proud. There's a process here of learning how to handle all that, and we're in the middle of that right now. And that's what happens when you have recent success. When you learn, when that success becomes a part of every year, and that's adapted into the culture of your team. And then I think the next step is continuing to find ways to win those big, tough contests, those championship contests. That's going to happen, and that's part of that phase. And, but it's all about building it in the right direction as you move forward in the future. And that process was started and is still continuing along those lines. So every once in a while, I think back to that playing Penn State. I told you Penn State had a pretty good defense. They got a pretty good defense. I mean, we played against an outstanding defensive football team on that day. Played hard. So there's been a lot of victories, and a lot of victories other than just wins-loss victories. And like any other season, there's probably at least a game in there that you feel like you should have played better and you shouldn't let get away from you. And that's where your disappointments lie. But we want to finish really strong here on Friday, but it's going to take probably our best game of the season to do that.
Steve, in terms of growth, has it been about what you thought it would be, or has it exceeded what maybe you thought it would be?
Where we are with our team?
Well, from where you came from, you talked about the growth. Yeah. Has it been what you had hoped, or has it maybe exceeded what you thought?
I think it's better than what I hoped. Mm-hmm. It's probably what I'm trying to tell you. I think it's better. When you talk about the amount of change the offense, change the defense, there's a lot of change. And we've really kind of handled that. You point out we've been through 3 quarterbacks. We've kind of handled all that kind of seamlessly, really. Maintaining tremendous enthusiasm in our program and maintaining a pretty high focus nationally right now about Temple. Our ratings have never been higher, TV. The talk and the buzz around the country has never been greater. So that's what you hope. I'm hearing guys talking about these tremendous successes for first-year programs winning 5 and 6 games. And they are. We're trying to get 8. So, is that a great success? Yeah. But we're having this nice conversation right now. But all our team and all we care about right now is finding 8. It's not time to kumbaya, you know what I mean? It's time to go get 8. And that's our approach, that's our mindset, that's our demeanor, that's how we'll go practice. We'll go practice really hard today. You'll not know that we won a game on Saturday. You won't feel that way on that practice field today. So it's going to be a tough day, but those are philosophical questions that I'm answering for you. Probably best in the wrap-up, at the end of the year. But right now we got to go win us a football game. And I'm telling you, eye to eye, man to man. This is the best defensive team next to Penn State that we've played all year long. That's a fact. So that means we better play great on defense. We can't play on the long field all day long. That won't be productive. We've got to get some short field, and our special teams have got to help us so that we can win. So that's kind of our mindset. And we're going to have balance in this game. This game will have to truly be balanced out. So last week did not have to be balanced out, and it wasn't intended to be going into it. This week will be.
Talk a little bit about that senior class. Obviously, they've been through a lot the last couple of years. And this is your first year hanging out with them. Can you just talk a little bit about them as going to senior day?
Yeah, I mean, I really just have a great appreciation for them. You got guys like Keith Brown and Tahir Whitehead and Adrian Robinson, and those guys are just, they really like our program. They love Temple, and they just wanted to have a great season, and they want to be great players. And I just named those. Steven Johnson. I go down the list. There's a bunch of guys. Pat Boyle, Wayne Tribune, Evan Rodriguez. I mean, wow. I mean, those guys have all, I got to tell you, they've been just a pleasure. Like, really, legit, a pleasure to coach and be around. Their attitudes are phenomenal. They don't have egos in the way, and they're just grateful to have the program they have and be in the position that they're in right now. And I think they feel terrific about this football program. That's the hard thing when you come in, is how do those seniors take that on? Do they take it on like, oh man, we got to deal with this change now, and what happened? It's been the opposite. It's been like they're thrilled. They're blossoming. You know what I mean? They're really doing quite well in their best years. So that's a good thing. And then that trickles down to the younger guys. So I think we've really grinded them. We've coached them really hard, but I think we've shown them respect from the standpoint of they earned it. They earned respect, appreciated that. There's no mind games played with these guys, nothing. It was straight on. It's what you see is what you're going to get. Let's go coach it hard. Let's go practice hard. Let's be a tough physical team. And I think they've embraced all of the above. And that's what's made it great. It's no resistance. No resistance. I mean, I can tell you, I thought when we went down to Florida the first year we were there, it was harder. It was hard. This was terrific. And they allegedly had some success, right? So, but it's been great.
Can I ask you a totally off the wall question? You coached in the SEC are you, and I don't know how much, but the fact that there's 3 SEC teams, 1, 2, and 3, and 2 of them are probably going to play for a national title unless there's a bunch out there. Or is that, when you coach in there, I mean, does that not surprise you that, I mean, they've won 5 championships in a row, so I guess
Best conference in college football. And those are the best teams in college football. I don't know that the SEC is as strong top to bottom as it has been when I was there. But certainly the top is the strongest in the country. That's for sure.
Do you think people that don't see it week in and week out really don't appreciate it? Maybe.
No, they don't get it. It's so hard. The SEC is a defensive conference. It's a defensive conference. When you're an offensive coach or an offensive coordinator in that conference, it's rough, man. It's a hard conference, and everyone knows it. I mean, there's no mysteries. Those teams, they put up a lot of points here, and then they play one of those SEC teams in a bowl game or a championship level game. They get swallowed up. Those defenses are rough, and the venues that you play in, the stadiums you go in, are impossible. That's what people can't really measure week in and week out. Go play on the road at Alabama, Auburn, LSU, Florida. Really hard.
Is the speed
really hard? I mean, to the point where you can stifle your ability to function on offense. There's zero communication. There's no ability to communicate with anybody.
Is it the speed of the defense? Is that what separates it?
Speed and physicalness. The LSU, I'm not playing them, I'm not studying them, but the little I've seen them, I caught them on TV, they're extremely, extremely physical and fast. And they're stifling defenses. Those 2 teams I don't know any, I have not even seen Arkansas play. Those other 2 teams I happen to see play, they're stifling defenses. It's incredible. And that's the difference in that conference. It's that coupled with the fact that when you go in those places to play, you better have a quarterback that is a veteran player that's tough as nails.
That's like when you guys played Ohio State the one year in Oklahoma, and your defense basically shut those guys down.
They weren't used to that. They don't play that week in and week out. That's the difference. I talk to my guys, Pouncey's, we're close. They tell me all the time, I said, Coach, it was harder to play in the SEC than it is in the pros. I'm just telling you what they say. They'll tell you that. Wow. Because we went against, the defensive ends are all first-round draft picks every year. On Florida, when I was in Florida, we had like 3 first-rounders. Practice against them every day. I used to laugh. I had a kid, Phil Troutman from here, who played for me. He's a great player. He's with the Saints right now. Like you guys, they used to ask me an evaluation, get ready for a draft. You're going to compare that guy going against those first-rounders with some guy over here going against me? I mean, how do you compare that? Just because he runs the 40 good or something like that? You can watch him. Same with Tebow. I'm talking about Tebow to me. I look at Tebow, I'm like, pro game. What do you mean the pro game? You played against those guys in college. What are you talking about? Like, Joe Hayden was a first-round draft pick. He played against them every single day. He's a starting corner for the Browns. I mean, defensive ends, though, there's the edges. Those are the same defensive ends that we played against every day in practice and in the games. So that's what that game level is in that conference. The other conferences, I don't think, are quite to that. That doesn't, but doesn't mean that on any given day,